ranking every NBA team's big three in the NBA. Now, a couple of disclaimers. I've decided that the only rookies that I would include are the top 5 picks, mostly because anyone past top 5 has a pretty decent chance of coming off the bench. Also, this list is just for entertainment, so I do want to hear from y'all in the comments about which trios are too high and too low, but taking it as far as insulting my basketball knowledge in the comments, just like what happens in every video, I can handle it and I can't stop you, but it is never that serious. Now let's go. At number 30, I was gonna say the worst trio in the league, but that sounds so disrespectful. So at number 30, we have Keldon Johnson, aka Mr. Boardman got paid Jr., getting a $74 million contract. Congrats. Then everyone's favorite NBA guessing game, Jakob Poeltl, and then we got Devin Vassell. The good news for Spurs fans is that they have the potential to get the number 1 pick next year. They have lots of rookies with potential like Sohan, Branham, and Blake Wesley, so I wouldn't be too mad. At 29, we got the Houston Rockets with Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr., and Kevin Porter Jr. As historic of a rookie as Jalen Green was for a stretch of like a month, for me to put this trio higher on the list, I would need to see a bit more consistency. Jabari went from the next KD to a bust within a month, and obviously neither will be true, but I have to see Jabari play in the actual NBA before putting him higher, and KPJ is decent, I guess. At 28, we got the Orlando Magic with Sir Sweatsalot himself, Paulo Banchero, Franz Wagner, who was amazing in his rookie year, and Wendell Carter Jr. I am really liking the Magic's future. At 27, we have the Pacers with Tyrese Halliburton, Lego Dude Miles Turner, and Buddy Hield, and by the end of the season, I think Benedict Mathurin will definitely be in the top 3, but apparently I've been seeing some people say that Mathurin might not even start at the beginning of the season for the Pacers, so for now, it is Buddy Hield. At 26, we have the Utah Jazz with Donovan Mitchell, Boyan Bogdanovic, and Mike Conley, and honestly, Donovan Mitchell's probably the best player from places 21 through 30. His supporting cast ain't all that. I mean, Boyan is not the best second option, and Mike Conley has fallen off a cliff in these last couple years. Also, Mitchell might not even be on the Jazz by the time the season starts. At 25, we have the Canadian Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Australian Josh Giddey, and the American Chet Holmgren. Why I say their nationalities before their names, I have no idea. I just kind of realized that all 3 were different. But all I will say about this trio is Chet Holmgren is the real deal. Screw all the Chet haters. This is the only white boy star that I will ever truly root for. At 24, I have the Pistons with Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, and Sadiq Bey. And I cannot wait for the Pistons to be a good team in a couple years. Cade Cunningham easily has the most potential out of all the players that I've listed so far. Jaden Ivey's looking good as well. And Sadiq Bey dropped 50 last season, so he's special. But then again, I'm pretty sure Robert Covington dropped over 40 last season, so how much does it mean? I don't know. And those 7 trios were coincidentally probably part of the 7 worst teams next season. And now we are moving on to the teams who are play-in contenders, playoff contenders, and championship contenders, so this will be a lot more fun. At 23, I have the Sacramento Kings with De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, and Keegan Murray. Did y'all know that Keegan Murray is actually the favorite right now to win Rookie of the Year? I mean, I guess that's what Summer League MVP gets you, even though Banchero played just as good as him but was cut short. But 2 borderline all-stars with him, that's a trio that could lead a team to the play-in tournament. At 22, I have the Hornets with LaMelo Ball, Scary Terry, and pro gamer Gordon Hayward. And no, I did not include RTBMB, aka Miles Bridges, because I'm not sure if he's playing next season, but he definitely shouldn't. On a serious note, what he has allegedly done is very messed up, but you never know, he could be innocent, but it's looking really bad. But yeah, this trio has a whole bunch of mid. Mid ain't bad though. Mid is mid. 21, I have the Knicks with Maple Bamba, Moneybag Brunson, because wow, he just got a bag, deservedly so, and MIP to LIP, most improved to least improved, Julius Randle. And this might be the one trio where each player is almost on the exact same level of basketball ability. They're all kind of just as good as each other. At number 20, I have the Portland Trailblazers with Damian Lillard, the best NBA player nicknamed Ant, and the number 1 option Jeremy Grant, who is very pissed to play with an NBA superstar Damian Lillard because now he gets less touches. This might seem like a pretty low ranking for a trio with Damian Lillard, but last time we saw Dame, he was not very good. I'm not saying we'll see an exact repeat of what happened last year, but it might not have been a coincidence because last year the NBA did switch their game ball to Wilson. At 19, I have the Wizards with Beal, aka 50% of the Wizards salary cap, Kristaps Porzingis, and Kyle Kuzma, a pretty good top 3 that has the chance to make the play-in tournament. At 18, I have the Dallas Mavericks with Luka Doncic, Christian Wood, and Spencer Dinwiddie. And I know that a lot of y'all probably have the Mavs higher ranked in your own list because Luka is so good, but this is a big 3 ranking, not individual player. And apparently Spencer Dinwiddie will be starting next season, which is not a good sign. He is terrible when starting. And Christian Wood apparently might come off the bench, which is also, I think, terrible for the team and the trio. But yes, Luka is the best player yet and will be the best player for at least another 6 spots, debatably more, but this is the ranking. At 17, I have the OVO boys with Pascal Siakam, the All-NBA player who didn't make an all-star team, Drake, and full-time streamer Scotty Barnes. This is a very well-balanced big 3. It has defense, offense, whatever, and it's only so low because the NBA is just so talented. At 16, I have the Cavaliers with Garland, Jared Allen, and Evan Mobley, a great young trio that will only go up in the rankings for every year they stay together. At 15, the most average trio in the league is the Bulls with DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Nikola Vucevic. For this trio, I did take into consideration that while the rest of the team plays defense, no one in this trio does. Maybe Zach LaVine is average, but that's it. I'm also expecting next season for DeRozan to regress a little bit. I mean, in the regular season, he was playing like a superstar, so I don't think that'll happen again, but I will admit if he proves me wrong. At 14, I have the Memphis Grizzlies with John Morant, Triple J, and Desmond Biceps Bane. As good as the Grizzlies are, a lot of the credit to their success is a result of coaching and depth. As an alone trio, they are still above average, but once again, the league is so talented, it is very hard to get any higher. At 13, let's just get my bias out of the way. It is the Hawks with Ice, Lollipop Trey, DeJounte Murray, and John Collins, a great blend of offense and defense, and it might be a little high, but I'm biased, and if you want absolutely zero bias, then make your own list. Also, I think Hunter is over Collins by the end of the season, but he does have to stay healthy to do so. Also, I used to hate the lollipop meme of Trae Young, but man, it's been 4 years and still has the wackest hair I've ever seen. Can someone fix my man up? At 12, I have the Lakers with LeBron, Day-to-Day Davis, and Westbrook. But yeah, he ruins this trio. Also, AD is the most healthy when he's bulked up. And when he's bulked up versus, like a little bit leaner, he's just not as good. But being a top 12 trio as the 7th worst team in the NBA says something about how good the trio is, especially the duo. At 11, I have the Suns with playoff choker Chris Paul, NBA fans' most hated Devin Booker, and bag boy DeAndre Ayton. I just think it's so funny that people hated Booker for doing literally anything in last year's playoffs, but I swear if Anthony Edwards did the same thing instead of Devin Booker, people would be calling it funny, just in my opinion. But I do not trust any 37-year-old to maintain his elite play unless his name is LeBron James. So I think Chris Paul, even turning vegan, will fall off next season. And I don't know what's going on with Ayton, but if he stays, him and Booker are still two great pieces. At 10, people will say this is crazy low, but I have the Clippers with Kawhi, Paul George, and Reggie Jackson. But it's a great ranking when you consider how long it's been since Kawhi played, and the fact that out of anybody in the top 10, Reggie Jackson has to be the worst player. At 9, I have the very underrated Pelicans trio of Sir Eats-A-Lot, the KD clone, and the president of the Players Association. And I will make a video on this team very soon, but man, I am so high on the Pelicans, it is crazy. So subscribe and stay tuned for the hot takes I have for this team. At 8, I have the Denver Nuggets with the best player in the league, Jamal Murray and MAGA PJ. And this might be a bit low, but I really don't see Michael Porter Jr. really reaching what he has the potential of because of his back injuries. But if this trio wins a championship, we know why. At 7, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves with the Georgia legend himself, Ant, the Gideon superfan, and the man who started a pandemic. And yes, it might be crazy to put them this high, especially because when it comes to the playoffs, I am very low on Gobert, but regular season wise, this trio could be very dominant. I see Ant making a huge jump, and it wouldn't surprise me if this trio carries the Wolves to a top 3 seed. At 6, I have the Miami Heat of the trio of MJ's son, Bam, and Jack Harlow's twin. But we have seen this trio for a while, we know who they are, I don't really care to talk about them. At 5, I have the Nets trio, assuming that no one gets traded, of the self-certified bus driver, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons. This is still a championship trio, but I don't want to waste time on it because it is probably going to change soon. At 4, I have the Celtics with Kobe's biggest fan, a really fun guy in Jaylen Brown, and Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart. And strictly talent-wise, I love the duo of the two J's, and Marcus Smart is cool, not for a trio so much, but luckily winning NBA games isn't based on big threes, it's based on the whole team, and Smart is perfect for them. At 3, I have the 76ers with Troel, good guy Harden taking a pay cut, and Tyrese Maxey. And this might be high, but it is not biased because I hate the 76ers with all my heart. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I am a Hawks fan, but just how poor the organization is ran. But I cannot deny the talent. At 2, I have the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis, Middleton, and Drew. Now, talent-wise, this is the best trio in the league, but I must pay my respects to the greatest trio in the league right now with number 1. But I will say that if healthy, Bucks might have won it all this year. At 1, I have the Warriors with Steph, Clay, and Dre, and this might be the only big 3 in the whole league that doesn't have the team's second best talent in the big 3. Yes, I think Andrew Wiggins is the second best player, but the trio is Clay and Dre and Curry. It is just so iconic. And that is the end of the video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like the video because it doesn't hurt. Help a small channel out and subscribe, and I will respond to all of the comments on this video. So comment, tell me what you disagreed with. Peace.